Okay, this reading is for you. I'm going to start, the situation, you've come to an end and sort of now unpacking the relationship that was in the form that it was, and now sort of like having to go through that phase where you're figuring out, what the relationship is now with yourself and with him, and how you can progress and move on, I suppose, and, what the relationship was all about and what the purpose of it was and how it contributed to your life. So I'm going to start by looking at where you were in your own world, like in your own psyche, spiritually, mentally, physically, whatnot, in order for him to have been drawn into your world. So, okay. Judgment, temperance. Okay, all right. So we've got three major cards. So at the time within yourself, you were at a very transformative, sort of archetypal, energetic, big crossroads. Let's put it that way. There was a lot going on in a very big way when you met this guy. Before you met him, when you met him, what you were putting out there into the universe. We're looking here at sort of this completion, this feeling of worthiness, this feeling of, being judged, like judging yourself, judging other people, judging where you are in the world, this consciousness of where you are in the world, how your journey had progressed so far. You're looking to be inspired, you're feeling inspired, you're feeling as though, you've kind of reached this state where, you're ready to, you're obviously ready to take this big new grand new stage, this grand new step out into the world. You're feeling as though you're in charge of some aspect of your life. You're quite, one area of your life is feeling quite as though, you've got this covered, everything's cool, like I'm in charge here, I'm feeling quite balanced here, I'm feeling quite content and quite wise in this way. And you're feeling as though, things are where they need to be. You're feeling confident that that you're taken the right step in some things, that you've made the right choice in some aspect of your world, and that now you're feeling quite happy with where you're at. You're feeling happy with yourself and happy with what you've created within yourself, and that you're ready now to take this next step out into the world and to have this new adventure. So let's see what was on your mind. Okay, so you're at a crossroads here. You're at a mentally, you're ready for a new mental stimulus. You're ready for some kind of new mental adventure, something new to think about. You're ready for something new to come into the world, into your life, that's going to, challenge you and stimulate your mind. Yeah, and you're probably thinking that you're ready for this, a new man, for someone to be the yang to your yin, or the yin to your yang. You're thinking that you're ready for someone to come in who's perhaps a father figure for you, or perhaps going to be a father figure for people in your life, for your kids maybe. But that's what you're thinking. Like, you're thinking that, yeah, here I am, I'm feeling quite stable, sound, things have, I have reached a conclusion with some things. I've created this world, if anyone were to kind of be on the outside looking into my world, I've done no wrong, I'm living a good life, and this is now what you're thinking. Okay, and you're ready. You are actually feeling as though you're ready. You're thinking that you're ready for this new kind of material plane. You're ready for a new physicality. So you actually do feel as though, it does feel as though you're sort of thinking that mentally, you're at this kind of crossroads where you're ready for this new challenge, you're ready for this new stimulation, but on the material plane, you're beginning a new cycle, and you're ready for a new sort of a new material reality to enter your world. But you're also thinking about this, so you might be thinking that you need more money, you might be thinking that you need this sort of physicality, you need a new sort of physical presence in your life, and you're thinking about this kind of father figure, this man who's gonna kind of, you think he's gonna somehow kind of balance you out and be the other half of you, and you're feeling ready for a quest. You're ready, feeling emotionally ready for a new challenge, emotionally for a new quest. It's something to definitely something heavy, something big. You're at the place in your world, at your place in your life where you are ready for big changes, because you are looking at big picture, sort of, you're not looking just at the nitty gritty, the fine details. You're looking at big, things that would have an impact for you. And you are changed. There has been some change, perhaps financially for you. You're feeling this change financially, perhaps, or within your, so you're feeling as though, there is a change, a financial change here, and you're feeling as though you're, in terms of your ideas and your thoughts and what's happening for you mentally, and how you're either feeling kind of trapped by your thoughts, you're feeling a little bit like that you're just going round and round in circles with your thoughts, and nothing kind of new is coming in, which is maybe why you're thinking, I'm kind of at this crossroads with my mind. I'm at this crossroads, and I'm ready to take a new path with what I'm thinking about, because you're feeling like mentally kind of fatigued, mentally that you've come to, you're kind of feeling mentally that you've thought or you can think about this situation, and now you're definitely ready for this new quest, for this new pathway. You're ready within yourself. You're really ready for some kind of new big shift, because things are feeling balanced. Things probably feeling, you might actually be feeling a little bit bored, a little bit stale. You need some inspiration. You need something to kind of shake things up a little bit. And you're kind of thinking, maybe it's going to be this man. Maybe if I kind of bring this man into my world, it'll kind of shake things up for me a little bit. All right, so that's what we got with, that's kind of like prior to the relationship becoming like grounded and steady, or like becoming a relationship as such. This is what where you're at in your pathway. So obviously emotionally you're feeling ready for for something big. You're really feeling ready for a big challenge, or a big kind of something to bring some kind of new drive or new energy, or some kind of new challenge, or something different to think about, you know. Yeah, so let's have a look now at, and, you know, that's not a bad thing, because it did look like you were in quite a good place within yourself, because, you know, you were quite, you had nice cards there, and big, like, major arcana cards. They're all really about, you know, these archetypal sort of states of being, you know, being like this, mothering sort of figure to many people, and having that wisdom and that knowledge and that respect. Also, you know, feeling as though you were ready for this new inspiring journey, but also feeling as though, you know, you've been quite temperance there. She sort of talks about balance and being even, and being having some limitations on yourself, and not being too extreme with things. It's almost like perhaps you were kind of feeling bored, really. Maybe within yourself you were feeling a little bit as though, I need something more, like I'm sort of, this is not just who I am, you know, I'm more than this. And, you know, so maybe that sort of almost like this sense of having such good, being in such a good place that you can't quite see how good it is that you have it. You can't quite see the good place that you're in, because you're feeling mentally as though you need a little bit more, you need to be a little bit outside your head. You need this other kind of influence around you. So let's look now at when you were in the relationship, you guys compared to each other. What was going on for both of you within the relationship? So here we've got you're ready really for this. You're feeling, you're at the end of this, you're at the end of your ideas. You do have wisdom and knowledge around a certain area, but he is sort of ready for action. He's ready for action, but you're actually feeling you've attained this knowledge. You've attained this wisdom around some kind of mental thought process. So you're there already, but he's sort of he's ready to just jump into action and get things happening. And he's kind of he's kind of this like excitable, youthful kind of figure in this, whereas you're actually quite not, you've gone through the process. You're there already. And yeah, so what you're thinking about is just you've gained a new awareness around what you're doing. You've gained a new awareness around your activities. You're a little bit challenged by it, but you're feeling as though you've got some harmony around it. Whereas, okay, he's kind of thinking a little bit more like, his thoughts are a little bit clouded for him. His thoughts are a little bit shadowy. He's not really quite sure what he's even thinking in this situation. He might actually be feeling a little bit thrown by this, or a little bit in over his head or out of his depth here. Yeah, what are you thinking about? And so, yeah, you're thinking about this new emotional pathway that you're on, that this is leading you on. Yep, but he's feeling as though something here has come to an end. Perhaps within himself, but he's feeling about he's feeling a transformation within himself. Whereas you're feeling also not so much a transformation, but you're feeling as though emotionally you're sort of on this at a bypass. Yeah, and it's, you know, mentally you have clarity. Mentally you've got clarity. He's not. He's a little bit clouded by this. He's a little bit confused, or he's having thoughts about it that he's not admitting to himself. He's trying to trust his intuition, trying to dial into his intuition. And you're sort of thinking about the harmony in a situation. You're kind of thinking about how to create this harmony within the situation. What you're showing to him, what you're projecting, is patience, emotional patience. You're being very patient with him in this situation. And he's kind of projecting that he's actually, you know, quite knowledgeable and quite balanced, and that he's whole, you know, he's kind of projecting out. So you're both, you know, you're both kind of trying to accommodate one another in this relationship. But actually your shadow is that you're actually quite, you're just trying to keep your head together. You're just trying to keep your mind and your thoughts together, because you're so busy like being emotionally mature and being the emotional stronghold in this situation, that you're actually neglecting the stability of your own thoughts. You're actually kind of neglecting to maintain your sense of clarity, which you actually usually have. So yeah, and his shadow is that he's actually thinking that he's kind of neglecting his material, his knowledge of, or his sort of mastery of the material world. He's neglecting that within himself, and these areas here are what both of you are sort of like what is eating away at you personally within the relationship, and it's sort of like leaking, sort of there's seepage here between you, that's sort of not, you know, that's contributing to sort of the disharmony or the problems in this relationship. So you're both kind of like projecting this kind of quite harmonious union, where it feels like, you know, everybody's quite mature in this situation, and everybody's quite balanced and whole and complete, and very emotionally available, and you know, rounded and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, he's feeling as though something's come to an end, and you're feeling as though you're at this emotional crossroads where, you know, how much more sort of can I give to this, you know? Yeah, and what's sort of, I guess, the difficult part in these situations is that there's always, you know, this shadow side to us that we're not showing to the other person, and sometimes not showing to ourselves either. And concerning here is that you come to this situation where you actually have this mental mastery. You have this wisdom and this knowledge and these ideas that are really well developed, and you bring those to the relationship. But actually you kind of regressed here, and the stability that you feel as though you have inside yourself, and your sense of clarity around like how you perceive the world and how you perceive yourself and how you rationalize things, and how you make sense, and your meaning making processes are kind of like falling apart within this union, which is not fair for you and it's not fair for him either. But what you're thinking about is like trying to just maintain this harmony and yeah. All right, so if we were to go on and have a look at, maybe we can go and just have a little look at your shadow and how we can work on that as we progress now, as we advance now from the midst of the relationship. You're both emerging as changed individuals with these new knowledges, and how can you use, you know, this new knowledge that you have? How can you use this shadow, how can you tap into this shadow knowledge? Let's have a look at that. Now that we know that, like, what you were sort of repressing in this situation was causing you to kind of probably second guess yourself, or double think situations, or overthink situations, where once you would think that, yeah, I know this to be true, this union between you guys, you're kind of thinking, I don't really know that anymore. Is that really true? Is what I thought actually, you know, is that the right way to be thinking? I'm not really sure anymore. So let's have a look at what we can do as we move out of it, and how we can work with that shadow self, with that energy that's come through. Okay. All right, so you're aware of it now. You're aware now, right now, that that's the part of yourself that you were denying, and it's a really essential part of yourself, because your ability to rationalize things and to make meaning out of things and to contextualize things is vital to who you are as an individual. It's you know, it's what makes us human, is our ability to be in situations and to meaning make. And now you do have extra clarity around this scenario. You can move forward with greater mental dexterity, greater knowledge, and you can consider how you're going to use this in terms of the past around this. Okay, yeah, so the Emperor, there he is. He's this guy that we brought into our world because we were feeling as though, you know, everything in my world is like really good right now. I'm kind of like not feeling very challenged right now. I'm not really feeling mentally stimulated right now. There's not a lot going on for me. I'm just feeling a little bit, you know, like all these huge things have like in my world and have come to kind of fruition. But now I need something more. I need something to kind of ignite that next part of my journey, and that's what this relationship was for you, and that's who you brought into your world, this yin to your yang in this scenario. So I guess what we can take from him being there is that you can actually have those traits within yourself. You can pull those traits into yourself and take them on board. And so, hang on, I'm just going to shut my door because my flatmate's back. Dukes. That's it. Okay, and so in the future, we've got an opportunity to put something into action, and it's putting your material world into action. So whether it's like getting active physically, being active, to kind of like, you know, stimulate your mind actively. So that's what we can do. We can maybe like instigate some kind of like physical behavior that's going to contribute to your mental clarity and to help you really explore your sense of completion again, because when you're, we're looking at two jewels here. Like we've got the spirit, the mind, and the body. So if we can just kind of focus on kind of progressing the mind again, recognizing that we're embodied beings. Perhaps in the future what you can do is just look at sort of being more active, being more physical, adding that kind of physicality to the mix. What we have control of in this situation is, okay, this is interesting. What we have control of, what you have control of in this situation is your mastery. And that's interesting because this is actually the card that was his shadow. And so clearly you've already mastered this. You are the master of your physicality. You are the master of your physical domain. You are the master. You have knowledge around these things. You actually, I feel as though part of the problem here, which is becoming clearer, part of the what this was about, this was actually probably he he had not had as many experiences and had not matured enough. He hadn't had as many challenges, as many things to overcome. He hadn't had as many sort of stimulating traumas as you have had, and you actually are like many cycles in front of him. So while it's true that we still can learn from each other and progress from one another, you've already reached many cycles that he has yet to master. And you were probably in this situation where he actually was starting to deplete, like you were depleting because you were giving more to him. To progress meant that you had to regress, if that makes sense. And let's just see what's fate in this scenario. Oh, here, look, this is beautiful. Okay, so clearly you're a thoughtful person. You're and when I say thoughtful, I mean your mentally, it's really important for you to feel challenged and to feel stimulated. You are, you are within yourself the queen of your ideas. You're the queen of, you are wholly and solely responsible and possess and basically embody everything that it is spiritually, mentally, psychically that you need. So as we sort of like look at this quest, look at this shadow self, like you had regressed in this situation. You had like lost this. You'd lost your clarity. You'd lost your sense of logic. You'd lost your sense of feeling right about things and of just knowing that things are as they are. That had started to kind of, it had started to be drawn away from you into this, because he was kind of like not needy as such, but he's just not as progressed as you are. So just as you're like working with this shadow part of yourself, you need to remember that you know what you know, and what you know is true for you, and you need to respect that and honor that, and have other people respect and honor that. When people question you or if they doubt you, you must know within yourself, and you must tell yourself that what I know to be true is what I know to be true, and that's just how it is. What they know to be true is also fair enough, but don't allow another person's journey to negate from your own journey, from your own progress, and from what you've worked hard to achieve, and from all the lessons that you've learnt within yourself and everything that you've built up within yourself mentally. It's, if you know who you are, and if you know what is true and what is not true, you're at such an advantage. You really are at such an advantage, because you can be strong within yourself. Okay. And that's, and as you progress from the other side of this partnership, that's what you need to just remember and just work on, that you know what you know. Okay. You know what you know. And I think we'll just leave that there. Okay. Amor fati.